Welcome back. You are tuned in to IBL, inspired by Onika, speaking on life and inspiring people. Welcome to this episode of Poetry Flip. So for anyone that's here for the first time, let me just give you a little background about what Poetry Flip is about. So in these episodes, I will recite some poems that I wrote on my blog, and I just randomly pick which ones, I'm going to recite for certain episodes, and it just depends. I may pick one that's related to something that's going on in the world at the time that I publish, or, I'll just pick something at random. And if you ever want to read the written version, you can head over to my blog at www.inspirebyOnika.com. That's INSPIREBYONIKA. And, if you ever hear me say, this poem is written in response to a prompt by one of my fellow bloggers, that just means that one of the bloggers has posted an image or a word or phrase, and they invite other writers to write a piece about that image or that word or phrase. And, you can join in or not join in. And just to keep it fun and interesting, they'll give you some guidelines. They might say, so your piece can be no more than 50 words, or it has to be 8 lines long, or you have to include a certain word in your piece. So they just give you different things just to keep it interesting and make it fun. So whenever you hear me say that's what it means. And even, the ones that I don't join in, I read what other people write too, because that just, to me, is interesting to see that we're all looking at this same image, but we all have such different perspectives. So, I think it's interesting. But anyway, so that's basically what that means when you hear me say that. And all the poems that I recite and that are on my blog, they are original poems that I wrote. So let's get started with today's featured poem. Hey everybody, and welcome. This is episode number 50, and this is Poetry Flip number 12. And today is going to be a little different. It's going to be a double feature. So I'm going to do 2 poems. They're pretty short. So let's see. So this first one is called Sun in My Pocket. And this one I wrote in December of 25. So this one was written in response to a poetry prompt, and the challenge for this one is to write a piece that's 10 lines or less, and it places something or someone in an improbable place. Like, for example, you might say sharks in a bathtub or a dragon in a bar. Those were 2 examples. So just basically something that you're going to find in a place that's, you're not truly going to find it in that place. So this one I wrote about is called Sun in My Pocket. So here we go with this one. So, sun in my pocket, searching out the window, wonder catches me. Where, oh where is sunshine? Cloud after cloud careening. Patiently, I stand by. Oh wait, what's this? Feeling warmth and joy, reaching in my pocket. Oh, there you are, sun in my pocket. So that particular one is about just finding the sun in a place. Obviously, you're not going to find sun in your pocket, but on those dreary, those cloudy days, what do you want? You want to see the sun, so that's what this one is about. That's called Sun in My Pocket. So we are going to move over to the second poem, and this one, some people will be able to relate to this, because if you've ever been on a crowded train, you understand that a lot of times it's so crowded you can't move. Like, your hands, your arms are just at your side. You can barely move. That's how crowded it can get. So this one is also written in response to a poetry prompt, and this is a tanka poem. So a tanka is a poem that's 5 lines long, and the first line has 5 syllables, the second line has 7 syllables, the third line 5 syllables, the fourth and fifth lines both have 7 syllables each. So it follows a specific pattern, right? So this one is called Tissue, so close but out of reach. So, okay, so here we go with this one. Cramped, I feel standing, in the subway car freezing. Can't reach my pocket, nose running, I need Kleenex. On lapel, mucus escaped. So there you have it. That's when that moment hits you. You're in that crowded train, and you can't move. You got tissue, but and even if you are able to reach your pocket, you're not going to be able to move both your hands up so you can blow your nose. So what choice do you have, right? Now those were 2 short poems. They were both fun. And I know you might be saying, well, what's fun about snot dripping on your coat? I know. But anyway, if you can relate, then you know what I'm talking about, right? So anyway, those were the 2 poems for today. I hope you enjoyed both of those, Sun in My Pocket and Tissue, so close but out of reach. So thank you again. This is the end of episode 50, and this is Poetry Flip number 12. And again, I want you all to stay tuned. I'll be back again with some more. And the next poetry flip, it may be another double feature. So if they are short poems, I like to do 2 of them, just because the one, if you do one and it's really short, it's too quick. So I like to go ahead and at least put 2 of them in there. So I'll see for the next poetry flip if we're going to just do 1. If it's a longer one, more than likely it'll just be 1. But if they're 2 short ones, then we'll go ahead and knock both of those out. So again, I want to thank you for tuning in. And if you want to look at the written form of both of these poems, you can head over to my blog. That's www.inspirebyonika.com. And if you want to listen to this episode, you can hear this on the Podbean app. You can hear it on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, and Apple. So again, thank you for listening, and until next time, stay well and be blessed. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the IBO podcast. You can hear this and all episodes on the Podbean app, YouTube, and Spotify. Until next time, stay well and be blessed.